Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for checking back in. For those of you who are new, my name is Dave with Everything in Between. And today's going to be hopefully a short video. I'm just going to explain what I'm going to do today. And then I'm going to try and get the camera out there. It is very hot outside, at least here for us in Texas. Yeah, it's only about 94. Well, let me refresh. So it's 94, feels like 98. Okay, or 93. 93 feels like 98. But it's kind of humid out here. 44% humidity, but over here in Texas, it feels like it's you get really moist. You really get sweaty over here. So let me pull up. So basically, what this video is going to be, how long this Atlas 80 volt battery will last in the lawnmower. We have the 80 volt self-propelled lawnmower, so I will be using the self-propelled as much as possible. I'm going to use it just like normal. So the last time I used this battery, or used the full charge, it did about, I would say about 98% of the yard, combined front and back. I started in the back, and in the front, it just left a couple of rows of grass left. So we're gonna see if that happens again. It may be different in your state. If you're in a cooler state, the battery may, last a little bit longer. I would think in the heat it would draw more power, or it would die a little bit quicker than if it was in a colder climate or environment. Anyway, I'm going to put you in the front yard, and then I'll put you in the backyard, and I want to show you exactly what I'm cutting. So you guys can fast forward that. I'm going to do a time lapse, like really fast, just so you can see that I'm actually cutting the yard. The grass is pretty high, so that's another thing. The grass is pretty high, longer than what I usually would cut it at. So that may, remember, this has a load sensing technology, so the higher the grass, the more power it's going to use, and the faster those blades are going to run to make sure it cuts that grass right. So I may use more battery. That's another thing. And the last time I did that in the grass, it cut 98% combined front and backyard. The grass wasn't that high. It was probably half the height it is today. So that may have some bearing on the results there. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get to cutting this grass and see what we come up with. So maybe you can measure your yard and say, okay, one battery will do it for me, or maybe I'll need two batteries. So hopefully I can help you figure that out, your yard. Again, temperature in your climate may affect the battery life, so just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and go out to the front yard or backyard, whichever one we're going to do first, and we'll see the results later. All right, first section is complete. Still got 4 bars on the battery. Let's go on to that next big section over there. Alright, let's get started. Hopefully this camera doesn't die. I'm hoping it doesn't die. Here we go. Man, it's hot outside. Okay, cool. It's still recording. Awesome. I think both times took like 8 minutes for each of those 2 pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna do the side of the house real quick on the other side, and then I'll cut it back on when I do the front over there by the sidewalk. I did forget a piece that I talked about. I'll probably just add it in the diagram when I'm actually talking about the square footage, but I do have 5 feet on the other side that goes all the way from the sidewalk all the way to the back of the house. So it's 5 foot by maybe, I don't know, 80 feet or something like that. But we'll figure that out. I'll put it in the diagram. But yeah, let's get to the side of the house real quick. still recording. Ooh, nice. Man, 9 minutes for that section. Alright, so now I'm going to do the left side over here. And see how that goes. See how much battery I have left. Two. It was 3, and then went to 2 and blinked to 3. So it's kind of like 2.5 maybe. All right, it's at one battery, but it'll still allow you to cut the grass, just not using the propelled to save battery. So it just stopped on me, but we're going to keep cutting without the propelled on, because once I engage the self-propelled, it'll stop. I guess to save battery, kind of like the reserve on your gas tank. When you hit that red line, it doesn't just stop. You have a little bit of ways to go. Kind of the same thing, I would guess. All right, let's go. All right, we got a little bit left. Let's do the rest around that garage or around the shop over there. All right, let's see if we can finish the rest with a little bit of battery left on the mower. No self-propelled, just manual. Nope. That's it. Don't worry, I was hydrating up there. All right, stay hydrated. Don't worry, this is room temperature water. I hear when you're out in the heat working, don't grab something from the fridge, a cold ice drink. I don't know, you can shock your heart, or I have no idea. I don't know. I've never tried to fact check that or anything like that. Sounds right. You wouldn't put ice cold water in your radiator after you're driving your car and it's all hot. You may bust the radiator, right? So I'm sure you would shock your system drinking ice cold water. So room temperature water when you're out in the heat, the high humidity heat. So I'm going to put some kind of diagram here on the side. I think if the grass was normal, half the height, if I would have cut it maybe last weekend, it was at least I would say about 2.5 inches high on the high grass parts. Pretty much the entire front and backyard. There were some low spots, some like less dense than others spots, but overall the grass was pretty high. I did hear the load sensing technology kick in. I'm not sure. I may play back on the backyard here. I noticed it where especially the front yard, but you may hear it because the camera was a lot closer on the backyard. You could hear the just the lawnmower. You can hear the sound. The decibels went a little bit higher, gave it a little bit more power to cut through that high grass. So as far as the backyard, you're probably like, why are you cutting your backyard like that? First of all, I don't cut it like that. I cut it a lot different, but I wanted to get you guys just to see me cutting the grass. Even though it's going to be fast forwarded or whatever, I just wanted you guys to see. For those of you who want to see it, you guys who don't, you can fast forward it to this part or any other part that I'm talking about numbers and stuff. I usually cut long ways. So me going short ways, I was doing the speed control a lot more. So when you start and stop, it's kind of like when you start and stop in your car, you waste more gas rather than going on the highway, doing longer runs. Pretty much the same thing. So usually I would cut long ways, but again, I wanted each section to be caught on camera. As you saw at the very end, so when it first dies on you, and this has happened twice, especially on the first time where it didn't make it all the way, it left like 2 or 3 lines in the front yard, the long ways, front to back. Probably about 2 or 3 passes left where the battery died. So that's why I wanted to start in the front. I did the side, both sides of the house, and then I came to the backyard. That way it would die in the backyard, because now I have to charge the battery up. So I think the heat had a lot to do with it. It's 93, 94, feels like 98, 99. And then doing the short runs, especially in the backyard. The front yard, I also didn't start and didn't cut how I usually cut. But I think for the most part, I was cutting long ways. But let's go ahead and get to the numbers. Hopefully I covered everything. So, alright, so I'm going to put a diagram on the side. So I was able to do the entire front yard, the side of the house, actually both sides. I'm going to put the other side there somewhere. I did the backyard, the 26 by 32 part. I did the 25 by 24 part. In the 25 by 24 part, that section, that's where the lawnmower stopped. And was basically, you can't use no more of the self-propelled. So I was able to cut the rest of the 25 by 24 by just manually pushing the lawnmower without the self-propelled. Then when I came over here to the back door of the shop, that's a 14 by 27 area. So that 14 by 27 is 378 square feet. All right, so yeah, 378 square feet that I did not cut, at all. So in total, square footage was 3,835 square feet, and minus the back door area is 378 square feet. So in that one charge of the battery, the 80 volt, I was able to approximately cut 3,457 square feet. So around 34 to 3,500 square feet on that one battery charge. I don't know, what can you take from this? take those numbers with a grain of salt. It may be better if you're in a colder climate. Maybe I don't know. Maybe cut your grass, cut it every weekend. Before it gets that 2.5 inches, tall. The lawnmower did do that load sensing technology feature. It did ramp up quite a bit. So, that could have had some negative to the battery life. Yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to keep this short and simple. Leave a comment down below. Let me know, or let everybody know, you using this lawnmower, 80 volt, self-propelled Atlas, using the 80 volt battery, only one of them. How much can it cut on your yard? Does it, are you able to finish your yard? How tall is the grass when you cut it? Where are you located? Where are you at? I mean, how hot was it, when you were cutting your grass? And, if you don't, can't do videos, and leave it down in the comments. Typing is just as good. I think it'll help the community out, at least the Atlas, community, or even the people who don't own Atlases. Maybe it's something that they can say, okay, I can cut my yard. My yard's not even half that size. I'll be able to cut the grass and use that same battery for weed eating. So unfortunately for me, I can't weed eat until that battery gets charged, because now I have to finish this last portion in the back, and then I can weed eat all around, the front yard and the backyard, along the fences and everything. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't mind, subscribe. It'll help out a lot. Ding that little bell to get notifications. Several more videos lined up in the works. Leave a comment down below. Like I said before, let us know your situation. Hope you're having a good day doing whatever it is you do. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.